I'm Joe Khalil here in Washington. We're going to break down all the big moments from the historic second impeachment trial of President Trump.
Live from Chicago, this is NewsNation. Your news, your nation.
This is about our Constitution and abusing the impeachment power for political gain.
As one senator said, they could have killed all of us.
Senators serving as both witnesses and jurors. All eyes tonight on Capitol Hill for the beginning of a historic second impeachment trial against former President Donald Trump. Thank you for joining us tonight on NewsNation. I'm Marnie Hughes.
And I'm Rob Nelson. That is our top story tonight. Lawmakers forced to relive the very moment that rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol last month during that deadly siege. It's the grounds for this unprecedented second trial, the first involving a president who is no longer in office. Donald Trump charged with inciting an insurrection back on January the 6th as Congress was certifying the election results. His legal team calling the proceeding in and of itself unconstitutional. Tonight, meantime, security still surrounding the Capitol as opening remarks began today. NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil has that and more from D.C. tonight. Joe.
Yeah, Rob, I think the big takeaway was that the center of the day was supposed to be, is this process constitutional? And in a big way, both sides really diverged from that question. Democrats, for about half the time, made a real emotional appeal, sort of bringing senators back to January 6th. They did that effectively. And then on the other side, he had President Trump's attorneys spend even less time on the question of constitutionality, instead really painting President Trump as the subject of political attacks. Senators forced to relive the harrowing moments of January 6th right from the start of President Trump's second impeachment trial.
That's a high crime and misdemeanor. If that's not an impeachable offense, then there is no such thing.
Lead impeachment manager Jamie Raskin got emotional as he delivered a personal account of the ordeal when he, along with his daughter and son-in-law, heard rioters pounding at the thin doors protecting them.
I promised her that it would not be like this again the next time she came back to the Capitol with me. And you know what she said? She said, "Dad, I don't want to come back to the Capitol."
The question on this first day of the trial: does the Constitution allow the Senate to prosecute a president after he leaves office? Impeachment manager Joe Neguse argued that's just what the founders intended.
Presidents can't inflame insurrection in their final weeks and then walk away.
Let's understand why we are really here.
Former President Trump's lawyers called the impeachment trial purely political.
President Trump no longer is in office. The object of the Constitution has been achieved. He was removed by the voters.
In an argument that runs counter to the former president's repeated claim the election was stolen, Trump attorney Bruce Castor argued the trial was no longer needed because his client lost the election. Castor also says Democrats have a hidden motive.
We are really here because the majority in the House of Representatives does not want to face Donald Trump as a political rival in the future.
That argument was echoed by David Schoen, a second Trump attorney.
In pursuing the impeachment conviction of Donald J. Trump is to use these proceedings to disenfranchise at least 74 million Americans with whom they viscerally disagree.
In the end, 6 Republicans joined all 50 Democrats to say the Constitution allows an impeachment trial of a former president. Now the trial heads to a second day, with House impeachment managers set to lay out their case. And look, the reception on social media, and particularly among Republican senators, if you're keeping score at home, is that a lot of them were frankly disappointed with President Trump's legal arguments today. In fact, I'm looking at on-the-record statements from 9 different Republicans, some of them very close allies to President Trump: Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, and others who frankly said it was underwhelming. They felt like it frankly didn't get to the point quickly enough, particularly the president's first attorney that spoke. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on as well in the next couple of days, is whether or not the president's legal team can sort of turn that reception around among Republicans who were disappointed today.
And Joe, yeah, one Republican senator called it a, quote, rocky start today. Now, President Biden has been very clear he doesn't have much to say. He wants Congress just to handle this on their own. He's not going to have much to contribute to that conversation. But as for the former president, Donald Trump, any signal or word from him tonight?
You know, it's really interesting. We haven't heard from him directly, but who we did hear from was Congressman Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, former president's chief of staff. Both of them were here today in the building, and they took questions from reporters. At one point, Mark Meadows did say that he's going to be meeting with the president's legal defense, and Jim Jordan said the same. He's going to be helping the president. So clearly, and they both, by the way, said that they were in touch with President Trump. So obviously, former President Trump was watching and was in touch with them. And what role exactly these guys are going to be playing on the president's defense team isn't exactly clear, but according to them, they're going to be in some way involved in the defense moving forward.
Hey, Joe, the bottom line is this. Do we expect a conviction here? Because all signs and prior votes indicate that there's virtually no way that 17 Republican senators are going to jump on board with this effort. So the outcome of all this, no matter how the trial plays out, seems to be a second acquittal for President Trump.
Yeah, I mean, Rob, you know, we're obviously in a really divided time. So anytime Democrats get 6 Republicans to agree with them on anything, you know, it's not insignificant. But to put it into perspective, 6 Republicans voted just to say that this process was constitutional. Right? So they're going to need 17 Republicans on the Democrat side to join them if they want to actually convict President Trump. So while, you know, again, it's a small showing of open-mindedness on the part of some Republicans, many of whom today already conceded that they felt like the arguments on their side were not as strong as the other side. Still, 44 of them voted just to, you know, say that this process was not constitutional. It's going to be a tough thing to get 17 Republicans to actually vote to convict President Trump at this point.
All right, another big week on Capitol Hill. Joe, thank you as always for your reporting right there on Capitol Hill. Appreciate it.